Hi everyone, so today I'll be doing my nails. As you can see, we're going to be doing my left hand today because they're all grown out. I think I have this for like a month and some weeks as of recording, because like I had it on for the 10th, the week of the 10th I had it on. So here I am showing you all of my grow out and how low-key nasty it all is. You can see on my pinky finger that there is some, like half of my nail is missing. That's because like I snapped it in half, and the top half, like it grew out. I didn't bleed or anything, but it grew out and it wasn't attached to anything, so I just cut it off. This hand will be saved for another day. I have like a different idea because I don't do like cohesive, like a full set of the same thing. I tend to like do a different thing on each hand. So today, this is the inspiration for today. I want to do like a more detailed version of this. It's basically the Murakami flowers, those really pretty, what my fellow BTS army calls like the Hobicore flowers, and I'll show you what they look like later. But right now we're doing some cuticle work. I showed you my needle like bit, so I'm just like taking down my cuticle because I have a lot of buildup because this is like a month overdue. I'm taking care of that pinky finger because it's very sensitive, because there's some skin that's not supposed to be exposed. That skin is supposed to be underneath the nail bed. After that, I'm doing some filing, and we're gonna do something different today, because like instead of just like putting on my primer and going straight to the acrylic application, I'm going to attempt to do something else. I'm gonna use a gel base coat to see if my adhesion would be a bit better, because due to the pandemic, I've been using a lot of sanitizer, and that's been causing a bit of lifting for me. So I'm putting on my primer, and then I'm putting on my base coat. I think this is a cheapo base coat. Like it really has no name. I use anything that's available, so I'm testing it out before like I commit fully and buy expensive one. So I think I did 3 coats just to be sure, because I really do have thinner nails and I want to be able to hold it, let it adhere properly. So I'm using nail forms. I'm sculpting today because I don't have any glue or tips right now. So with nail forms, it's basically a glorified sticker. So how I use them is that I take that circle, I peel it off, and then I take the circle and stick it on the back in case I want some extra length, or it's mostly for structure, but like if I need some extra length, I'll have it on there. So what I do is like I kind of not really crease it, but bend it so it fits the shape of my finger, the curve of my finger, and I just stick it in place. And just for like extra stability, I take my little mini staplers and I staple them, because sometimes my liquid to powder ratio is kind of off, and when I use wetter beads, sometimes the monomer slides down. So this is the monomer I'm using. I'm using a Shelly sculpting liquid, which is acrylic liquid monomer, and I'm gonna show you how I sculpt today. Also the acrylic powder, this says super nail, but it's really the sassy acrylic powder. I just like the super nail container better, so I poured it in there. So here I am dipping my brush off camera into my monomer, and I'm placing my first bead on my free edge where my nail and the form meet, so I can have like, that will be the first thing to cure, and then my stability, and I don't have to worry about my form shifting. Keep in mind, I am no professional. This is just how I see my work and do it. This is the method that works for me. So here I am patting it down, making sure that it's in place where I want it to be. This is a number 8, I believe, acrylic brush. It doesn't have it on the actual, handle, because this is a cheapo brush. I think I paid like $10, but it's whatever. It works, and this is what I use. I think my nails look decent. So my second bead, I use this for length. This is on top of my first bead. I blend it out. I make sure it's in place, it's in line with the type of shape I want from my nail, and then I just blend it down. My third bead, which you'll see in a second after I decide that I'm done messing around with my third one, my second bead, sorry. My third bead goes at that's the first bead that comes into contact with not my cuticle bead. That's the first bead of acrylic that comes into contact with my nail bed, really. Technically, yeah. So I'm putting that at the base of close to my cuticle, but not quite. It's just a tiny bit away, so I could be able to blend it into my cuticle. As you can see, I don't really care if like the acrylic hardens up anywhere else. I just need to make sure that cuticle is as flush as it can be at the moment, and then I start to stroke it upwards. Over here it's a bit too stiff, so I'm just gonna use a little bit more acrylic and make sure that there are no weird dents or holes in my acrylic. Like I said, I don't really have a method to the madness. It's just make sure that the entire nail is covered and make sure that the integrity of the nail, the structure is good, make sure my apex is in the right place. And to me, I don't really think it matters how much beads you use to get to there. So I just do whatever. Right, here you can see that I have acrylic powder on my fingertips and I'm pinching the nail. That's just to give it like a stronger C-curve. And if you don't have a pinching tool, you could just pinch the still uncured, the slightly undercured acrylic. And I just use the acrylic powder to make sure it doesn't stick to my fingers. I'm showing you how I sculpt my index finger. Now, here's an issue. And this issue doesn't happen when I'm, sculpting on other people, only on myself. When I decide I wanted to do a coffin, and like the thumb looks like a almost perfect coffin, but when it comes to the rest of my fingers, and I want a coffin shape, I end up doing like a tapered square. I'm not really sure if that's an unconscious thing, and I really need to like pay attention to that. I think it's because I don't do my first bead wide enough so it'll taper into like a skinnier point. But that's just something I noticed. It doesn't look bad or anything. It's not really a coffin, it's more of a square. So that's what I'm doing here. It was supposed to be a coffin, but that's just how things happen to be. So same thing like my thumb. I started off my bead at the edge at my free edge, and I am on my second bead to give length, and I'm patting and dragging that down, and then I'm going back to my cuticle and putting my cuticle bead is my third bead, same thing as my thumb, and let it bleed down. I'm letting it bleed down to down the length of my nail. I'm swiping close to my cuticle just to make sure it doesn't flood, and then I'm blending and patting it down the length of my nail. And that's basically what I do to you can see at the side there, I'm not gonna have enough. The acrylic started to set a bit too fast, so I'll have to like take like a tiny bead and put in that corner, if you can see like right there. So like I said, there's no method to the madness. Just make sure, just get the acrylic on there and you'll be fine. The majority of my shaping would come in when I'm actually filing my nails, like what I'm doing right now. I am not finished filing, but I'm just getting back the shape that I want, and I am flipping and making sure that all are straight, well, at least as straight as they can be, because my fingers are kind of crooked. But I'm filing away and I'm making sure. This segment took like way too long. I don't know if it's because, I think it's because I'm a perfectionist. I want to say it's because my files are old and I haven't, replaced my files in a minute, but I'm leaning to the perfectionist hypothesis. I am using my needle bit once more just to clean up my cuticle area, any cured acrylic that happened to be there, just to make sure that the transition from my cuticle to the length of the nail is smooth. I'm cleansing it with some alcohol right here. You see me spraying just to get off all the excess dust before I start painting my design. So what I did, I'm wiping off right now. To start my design, what I did is I used a no wipe matte top coat because I think that's not necessarily that the paint adheres better, but like for me personally, it's a nicer surface to paint on. I've seen other people use shiny top coats and they paint on that, but like this isn't my dominant hand. I'm painting on my dominant hand right now, so I am left-handed. This is my left hand, so like when I'm painting, I'll need something to grip. And I think for me personally, when I use like a slippy surface, I tend to make more mistakes. Right here you can see I'm looking at images of the Murakami flowers, and here I am using yellow gel polish. Here's what I would change. I wouldn't use gel polish because this gel polish is kind of like, it's hard to work with. It took forever to cure, and when it did cure, it didn't cure fully. It was still kind of lumpy, and I would just go full acrylic paint in this situation. Maybe just with the white flowers, I might use the white gel polish for the white flowers, because like, you know, you can clean it up. But for this gel polish, this yellow one was a pain because like I thought it was fully cured and I pressed down and it was bleeding everywhere. So here I am, I'm starting my flowers. I've been starting my flowers. Here I am, I'm starting my flowers. I'm making sure that everything is, I'm just putting my placement, and you'll see that I'll put my hand into the lamp. I still recommend you do this in all acrylic paints. I don't know why I did it. I did gel polish, but it's whatever. Here you see me, I'm taking acrylic paint and I'm outlining the circle of basically a smiley face, because the Murakami flowers are just smiley faces with flower petals. So I'm outlining it. I'm doing a poor job, but I'll get it done. And these flowers are basically daisies, multicolored daisies. So that's like, I believe it's 6 petals of like various colors, and that's what I did. I just outlined the smiley face, and then I continue to draw the petals. Here I am. This is right now they look kind of like good in Tama right now, but I am attempting to make the eyes symmetrical, because like they're kind of weird droopy eyes. They aren't like, you know, upright eyes. Here I am, I'm painting the red for the mouth. I think I use a low quality acrylic paint right there, and I'm painting more eyes. I kind of regret doing this so detailed. I should have followed my reference picture and just did like a stylized version of the flower instead of like copying the original. But I think it's cute. It's a statement nail. I got compliments with this nail. Like people came up and say, "Oh my gosh, it's so pretty," when in all actuality I'm screaming on the inside, because I've had it for like maybe 2-3 days now since recording it, and I kind of hate it. But this is my process and I wanted to share with you. So I'll let you all listen to the music, and I'll come back in with the reveal shots. Right, so these are the final nails. It's the finished look. I've done rhinestone work on my 2 accent nails, and that's what really pulls it together for me, because I really didn't know what else to put, because like I didn't want to have a whole nail of the flowers, a whole hand of the flowers. So these are some shots of the nails in daylight. This was the morning after, this was morning sun, and this one was in the afternoon, because you know, golden hour makes everything look better. But this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoy it. Like, comment, and subscribe. You can drop a cowboy hat emoji if you liked it in the comments. And if you want to see like more nail content like this, you can follow my nail Instagram at Candy Claws. And if you just want to see my face, ain't nothing wrong with that. You can follow me at Renee Soleil _ I'll have both my usernames on the screen, so you'll be able to find it. So you can come back next week if you want to see another video from me. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Okay, later.